Hi, my name is Navdeep Kaur. Today I'm going to talk about very important topic that the companies are facing nowadays when they have decided to make some changes in their organization, but the employees are refused to go with that change. So today I will give you some tips and tricks how to convince your team to embrace the organizational change. And what I'm gonna talk about in my presentation is firstly I will tell you the purpose of the presentation, then I will give you overview of the case study and how to build trust and confidence within your team and how to be positive about the transition, convey flexibility and adaptability to change. Then I will talk about some ethical behavior that is required during the presentation, and then we give you some feedback that I have received from the team, and then I will conclude this presentation. So firstly, the purpose of my presentation is to explain the ways how we can build the trust and confidence within the team so we can positively convince them to adapt to the changes, and then we will gather some feedback from that team on that organizational changes. So this is the overview of my case study. So it's about a company, and the name of the company is Piora, and that is an engineering firm and working in Brisbane for almost 30 years. So they were using a small in-house team to develop and maintain all the softwares and other skills for the business from last 8 years. And now the board of the Piora have decided to spin off the work unit as a whole and establish a standalone entity, and the name of the entity will be Piora IT. The reasons why they have made this decision, because the small in-house team now has become the profitable part of the organization, and the company wants to be flexible and creative to fulfill the client's requirements, and they want to reduce the friction between the external staff, like for the existing and the new entity staff, and they want to preserve the local market so they can be capable to take the major global market share. So they have made some changes in current policies and procedures, such as job sharing, flexible employment conditions, flexible work environment, casual work. And they have also asked to the team to keep this information secret for almost 24 hours. So now I will talk about how we can build trust and confidence in our team. So as we all know about that, the trust is the major factor. So in group efficiency, if you are probably not going to complete anything without the trust, and as a leader, it is very important to set the goals. We can show them that we have trust in them and how critical trust is for us. So by doing that, we can build the trust in our team. So first of all, the first thing that we need to build the trust and confidence is that integrity. So integrity, like if we talk about the psychological point of view, so individuals can just confide in others, that demonstrating as indicated by their own ideas of what is correct, and as a leader to be trusted, and the individual in question needs to show their trustworthiness in everything that they do or say. This implies each leader should be reliable. So second thing is demonstrate accountability. So people, regardless of how skilled they are, they make mistakes. And the sign of the trustworthy leader is one who can take the responsibility of their actions. So if the leader says that I'm happy to have responsibility for your actions if you are making mistakes, so it will be easy for the team to adapt changes, because they know someone is there to have accountability for their actions. So clear responsibility is an essential element of any high trust culture. The another thing is prove competency. If we demonstrate the competency, like you don't need to just tell your team you have to do, you should do that work first. If you are saying that you want to make some changes in your organization, firstly you should do that work. So you can demonstrate that, see, it's very easy to do that work, so people can trust on you. That so competency constructs trust in execution and makes an individual progressively acceptable. So the another thing is consistent communication. That is very, very, very important. So open communication in workplace is a critical method to manage any trust-related issues that may emerge during a major change. For example, now in this case study, people have fear if they have not that much of skill to do a new job, they can lose their job. So if members of a team feel as though they can ask questions about a change in procedures and communicate their opinions about an upcoming development, so they are more likely to feel comfortable with what's happening in their company if you communicate about those changes as you have decided, as soon as you decided. So next one is power or authority to deliver. If, for example, if the leader has given any task to their team, so you should give them freedom to take steps to fulfill that requirement or to complete that task. So if you are giving authority them to take the necessary steps, so the team members will feel that the leaders are well confident about them. So they will do work very effectively and they will adapt those changes very easily. So now, how we can be positive about the transition, convey flexibility and adaptability to change. So we should be positive about the transition or convey. So first of all, like resistance to change is a natural reaction. Whenever employers are asked to change, so business offers struggle with how to encourage employees about those changes. So many times employers encounter a negative reaction from the employees because of fear or insecurity about their jobs. So there are some small steps that can encourage employees that can make a big difference for businesses to implement the change. So first step that is very important is the communication. So that is very important point. So consider how the change will influence the representatives. Tune in with your workers' response and don't limit their trust and interest and their fears. So we should react by perceiving their input and clarifying why the change will positively affect the association. For example, in this case study, if the company has decided to have a new entity because they want to have a global market share, so it is very important to compete the other firms at this stage. So we should clarify that things to our team members as well. So next, what we can do is employee involvement. So include whatever numbers workers as could be expected under the circumstances as quickly as the time permits in the change procedure. So approach representatives for contribution, how change should be implemented. Get every representative associated with significant choices about his or her specialty and his own job. The other thing what we can do is skills training. Like in this case study, people have fear that if they go to the different department or will do work the different positions, so if they have not that much of skills to do a particular job, so how they could perform well. So we can give some training programs as quickly as possible. So many times during a period of change, a small group of employees learn valuable information about the change. So if the remaining employees don't receive the same information and training, and they feel like left behind, like they feel a harder time to learning new skills. So we should give some programs like training programs, so employees are more comfortable with the change. So they will possess the skills to succeed after the change is implemented. So it will be easily, we can convince them to adapt those changes. The next one, what we can do is shift focus. So what we can do, keep the focus in accordance with the organization changes, changing needs, because it is very like another basic ability that will implement it, or which should be demonstrate high level of the adaptability and flexibility in the employees. So we will keep up the predictable spotlight on the individual and group-based operational objectives to convey flexibility and adaptability to change. Next one is exercise emotional intelligence. So we should control and shift one's feeling in a productive way, so that will lead to easier adaptation when working with the new groups or new departments, building up a superior compatibility with associates. That's the case in this case study as well. So other thing what we can do is evaluation recognition. So at the point when workers push back on the change and resist the temptation to give up, make assessment frameworks during the change procedures to feel as a route for the representatives to keep tabs on their development. So rewards can be a good idea. You can ask for the ideas, and then you can give the rewards if they are making an active effort. Like in this case, the company is saying that we will provide reward if you will do work well. We will give you $4,500 reward or bonus if you work with us for next 12 months. So it is a good strategy to convince your team to have or to adopt that the changes. So after that, we will now talk about the ethical behavior that is required when we present the changes to our team members. So first of all is a professionalism. So we should demonstrate professional behavior through like well dressed up or response to every question. So we should be prepared in advance. So you know you are going to talk about the changes and what the employees can have questions about the changes. So what type of question they could have, you should be prepared well so you can answer their questions in a timely manner. So if and another thing is that then we give their answers in a time manner. So it will demonstrate that, see, we know you could have this type of question in your mind, but we have a system in place. So if you, like, for example, you are feeling like insecure about your job, you are thinking about how you can gain skills to do a job. So we know about that. So we have already organized some training program for you. So it will demonstrate value for them. So next one is be honest and fair. So when we are presenting the fact, we should be honest and truthful. So without any deceptions and distortions for the interest of company, the thing could be beneficial for company, but it may impact on the employees, and employees know that. If you are not going to talk about that, credibility can become damaged. And the another thing that we could do is attention and open-minded. So we should become a active listener, or we should pay attention on what team members have to say. It could be possible that they are saying that doesn't make any sense, or you maybe not agree with them. But if you actively listen them first, it will show some respect and value for them. And if you are not agreed with their opinions and ideas, so you should listen to them and then provide constructive feedback on that. So you can provide feedback to their question in a positive way if they have some negative comments on anything. So another thing is, so it's all about the ethical behavior. Now just talk about gather feedback. So what we can do here, we should ask our team members after presentation what type of experiences they have, what opinions or what they have to say about the changes. So what that we can do by two ways. first is the feedback form. We can provide them a feedback form. We can ask, oh, hey, what was the content was well received by everyone? Are you happy with the new policies? If you are, why you are? If you are not, why you aren't? So why was the delivery of the presentation was good, or are you happy with the new employment contract, or are you happy with the conditions to move in or stay with the existing entity? So it will show you that everyone is listening to you very carefully and they have understood everything. And so feedback is very important. So it can ensure you that they have understood everything very clearly. So another thing is the recommendation. So like in this feedback form, they have told you that they are not happy with the policy, so they can give you some recommendations. So what the company can do for in the favor of the team members. In this case, like there was a condition to work from office only for the initial 12 months. So people, this is the feedback that I have taken from my team members after this presentation, and they said if there is a condition to work from office, that is for a longer period. It should be for little short period, because they can't do work for like continuing 12 months from office only. So another thing they said, okay, if it is very important to have these rules or condition, so at least there should be a library. If they want to work in a quiet area, they can do that, and they can feel like home office. So another thing they said, okay, the new contract creates the fear and insecurity to us about our positions or our status, because their status can be changed permanent to the casual. So training should be provided to work on the new position and department, so that they can secure their jobs at least. Then another thing, they told that the staff should have enough time to make some appropriate decision. Like the company says, you have to make choices to stay with the existing company or the new entity. If you are going to new entity, you have to go there within 10 business days, as the financial year is going to start. So they should have appropriate time to make appropriate decision. So these are all the recommendations I got from there. And this is the conclusion of my presentation. Okay, you are thinking to make some changes to your organization. So resist to change is a natural reaction. So employees are asked, whenever you will ask, they will resist to those changes. So, but we need to encourage them positively to adapt to change by building trust and confidence and behaving ethically, which will help companies to fulfill their requirements or their goals. The next thing is communication. That is very important and play a very important role in this process. So by gathering information about the like feedback, or talk about all the changes and talk about their opinions, we can make sure the team has understood everything very clearly and ready to go with the change. So this is the conclusion of my presentation. So that's all from my side. If you have any questions, so please comment or ask in the comment section, and do like this video. Thank you for watching this video.